State authorities are investigating the death of a MnDOT worker who was struck and killed by a dump truck at a work site in Plymouth. According to Plymouth police, it happened Wednesday evening in the Highway 169 and Rockford Road construction area near Nathan Lane. The victim was declared dead at the scene. Police are still investigating. Everyone involved, we're told, is cooperating. As we put this newscast together Thursday afternoon, the victim of the crash had not been identified. The Minnesota State Patrol is assisting with the investigation, and it's working to reconstruct the crash. Brooklyn Center is planning to revise the public safety resolution the city passed after Daunte Wright's shooting. The City Council approved the resolution in 2021, and it called for sweeping changes to the city's public safety response and structure. That includes social workers that could respond to nonviolent mental health calls and a team of unarmed civilians for non-moving traffic violation calls. After 2 years, the City Council may change the language to reflect funding constraints and set new deadlines.
The spirit of the intent is important. However, I do believe there are significant portions that are shown to be unworkable, unaffordable, duplicative, potentially even unenforceable.
They hope to wrap up those amendments by 2024. A swimmer from Plymouth took on an unprecedented challenge this week. She, along with 5 other marathon swimmers, set out to achieve a new feat in Lake Superior. Emily Haugen explains why they took on this challenge for a cause.
I'm a lifelong Minnesotan.
Karen Zemlin knows what it means to go with the flow.
We have all these opportunities in Minnesota and all these lakes we have just around the corner.
She, like many other open water swimmers, also likes to go against the current.
We're this subgroup of swimmers that just want to challenge ourselves in bigger ways.
Her most recent challenge, over 40 miles of Lake Superior.
Each one is so different from the last. And this one gave me this whole different perspective because it was done in a relay form.
Zemlin and her team ventured out to swim the first non-stop relay from Split Rock Lighthouse to Duluth.
When those conditions change, we're changing very much how we're responding to those conditions.
That unprecedented swim is also a mission.
Lake Superior is among the fastest warming of the world's large lakes.
John Shepard is the assistant director of the Center for Global Environmental Education at Hamline University. He says the lake is reaching unusual 70-degree temperatures.
This marathon relay swim that just wrapped up yesterday would have been more difficult in years past.
That temperature also creates a breeding ground for invasive species and catastrophic storms. The group is creating a documentary to raise awareness of the changing climate close to home.
We all have a role to play in kind of reducing some of the impacts that are going to be happening, that are happening as the climate warms.
For the swimmers, their role was crossing the Duluth shoreline, and together they did just that.
When we stand on the beach at the end, that's that balance of, wow, look what we got to do and how amazing that was. And knowing how far those 70-degree water temperatures are reaching in Lake Superior feels like something we need. That's an indicator of what's going on.
Emily Haugen, CCX News.
That documentary should debut sometime around the holidays. People who live in Plymouth will soon have to start paying for curbside organics recycling, but before that fee kicks in, the city is asking for feedback. A new countywide mandate will go into effect sometime next year that will require people to pay for curbside organics collection regardless of whether they use the service. To prepare for this change, Plymouth is asking its residents to take an online survey to determine whether they want to coordinate those services with their garbage hauler of choice, which would charge varying fees, or if they'd prefer to have a city-led organics collection program. If residents choose that option, the fee would be consistent throughout the city, and there could be fewer collection trucks on Plymouth roads.
So if we can divert 25% of the garbage into the organics stream instead of into the waste stream, that's going to be better for everybody from an environmental standpoint, which is also in line with our council initiatives for environmental consciousness and environmental stewardship.
The online survey will be available through September 11th. You can find a link to it on our website, ccxmedia.org. A Twin Cities megachurch plans to build a new campus in Plymouth. Eagle Brook Church has signed a purchase agreement for land just north of Meadow Ridge Elementary School. The site is currently farmland located on Chinkata Trail. Eagle Brook has held weekly services at Wayzata High School since 2018. It's among a dozen locations Eagle Brook has or is planning to have around the metro area. The city of Plymouth has yet to review the plans, but if approved, construction on the new church could begin early next year. Volunteers in Osseo are continuing to plan that city's 150th anniversary celebration. The city of Osseo turns 150 in 2025. Dozens of volunteers are planning for what they call the, quote, biggest celebration in Osseo's history. While volunteers haven't finalized plans, the event might include a firework or laser light show, a scavenger hunt, and a series of concerts. It will also feature a booklet with the histories of Osseo's farms, business, and schools. The planners are still looking for additional volunteers. Well, what may look like simple seeds can sprout amazing art at the Minnesota State Fair. Several of our area residents received ribbons for their crop art this summer, including Joan Hawk and Elizabeth Butler of Maple Grove and Sarah Jerome of Golden Valley. We leave you with a look at more of their work.